Welcome to the Selling from the Heart podcast on the Salescast Network. You've joined a global movement of sales professionals who are dedicated to being authentic and building trust. We call it Selling from the Heart. Together, we are on a mission to bring sincerity and substance to the sales profession we all love. Get ready to be inspired and equipped as we join our hosts, Larry Levine and Daryl Amy.
Larry here. Unleash your business potential with Work Better Now. Get access to top-notch, full-time remote talent that delivers results from day one. Say goodbye to tedious admin tasks and time-consuming hiring. Whether you need an executive assistant, want to grow your team, or simply want to free up your time so you can sell more, Work Better Now has got you covered. Their carefully vetted and matched remote workforce will streamline your operations. Join Daryl and I in experiencing the positive impact of Work Better Now. Our assistant Carmen has been with us for almost 2 years, and she has been a tremendous benefit to our team. Book a free consultation at workbetternow.com and transform your business today. Use promo code HEART to receive $150 off for your first 3 months.
Hello and welcome back to the Selling from the Heart podcast. Your co-host, Daryl Amy, here today with Larry Levine. What's going on, Larry?
You know what I just noticed? By the way, it's great seeing you. This might be the first time in podcast history I'm actually on the other side of the screen as you. That's kind of weird.
Well, there you go. And if you're watching on YouTube, you notice that. If you're not watching on YouTube yet, go to YouTube. Check it out. It's so much fun. We have an incredible guest today. We're going to be 3 feet from gold with none other than Sharon Lechter, our new friend. We can't wait to have this conversation. And Larry, I'm so excited about all of the motion and momentum inside the Selling from the Heart community. And I'm super excited that we're all going to get to hang out here in just a couple months at the Selling from the Heart experience on April 19th and 20th in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's going to be so much fun.
No, it is. And we're all about building authenticity. We're all about building integrity and trust. And this is just this movement I'm so honored to lead with you, Daryl. It's time to bring heart back into the sales world.
That's right. So we want you to come hang out with us. It is going to be a powerful day. We'll have dinner the evening before on the 19th and a special guest. And then all day, we're going to be diving deep into our heart for selling, reigniting, rekindling, refueling, rejuvenating. It's going to be an amazing day. So join us at sellingfromtheheartexperience.com to get your tickets. And you're absolutely going to love this event. It's so much fun on the podcast because one of the things we get to do is we get to hear from the community all around the world. And we want to give a shout out to one of our favorite listeners and friends.
Yeah, no, just a special shout out to Elizabeth Cottrell. She was just a recent guest on the podcast. She's become an absolute kindred spirit, the author of The Heart Spoken Word. And she went on to say this. She goes, I appreciate so much that the wisdom unleashed in these interviews goes far beyond nice sounding platitudes. The guests provide examples, stories, and proof that selling from the heart is a mindset that happily these podcast hosts are turning into a movement. Thank you, Elizabeth. We really appreciate it.
We do. And it's so great to see the whole community of heart-centered sales professionals around the world. We love hearing from you. We appreciate your reviews, your comments. We always like connecting with you. You know, one of the things, 25 years ago, Larry, 2 books came into my life right around the same time that had a profound impact on my life. One was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We've talked about this a lot. The other was a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and our guest today, Sharon Lechter. And I am so excited about this conversation we're about to have with our special guest, Sharon. She's a keynote speaker, a business strategist, a mentor, an elite entrepreneur. She's a best-selling author and philanthropist. And most of all, she's a mother and a grandmother. She co-authored Rich Dad, Poor Dad, profoundly changed my life. And Larry, I don't even think we'd be here if that book hadn't been written and I hadn't read it and taken action on it. She led the Rich Dad company for over 10 years. And then in 2008, she was asked by the Napoleon Hill Foundation to help re-energize the incredibly powerful teachings of Napoleon Hill, just as the international economy was starting to falter. Since then, she's released 3 best-selling books with the cooperation of the foundation, including Think and Grow Rich, 3 feet from gold. We've talked about this a lot. Outwitting the devil, think and grow rich for women, and success in something greater. So many incredible things. She's been appointed to the president of the United States Advisory Council on Financial Literacy. We could spend the next half hour reading all of her accolades, but I just want to invite and welcome to the Selling from the Heart studio, Sharon Lechter. We are so glad you're here.
Thank you so much, Daryl. And hello, Larry. Good to see you.
Hello, Sharon. This is awesome.
Well, we're 3 feet. We're like 3 inches from gold now. We've got Sharon Lechter right here in the podcast studio. And Sharon, I'm so excited about this. And as we get started and dive into this conversation, I just want to ask you the question that every guest on the Selling from the Heart podcast answers. And I'm really curious your take on what does it mean to you, Sharon, to sell from the heart?
Well, I love this, and I absolutely applaud that the two of you have created this organization. It is so badly needed in today's world. There's just so much craziness, and people, when we get back and focus to human contact and really speaking from the heart, as well as selling from the heart, is where we have that honest communication. And I just applaud you for doing this. I teach in my classes and my people, my talks about, do you sell or do you serve? And the way that I describe it is you sell as a transaction. So you sell something, you convince them to buy it, but you're really speaking to their wallet and their head. And so you're basically trying to get a transaction. So you don't establish a relationship. So when you serve your customers, you're selling from the heart. And when you serve them, you create a relationship, and that relationship generates a lifetime of sales. And so the selling from the heart for me is the serve side of the equation. Do you sell or do you serve?
Oh, I love this because I'm a firm believer. If you serve more, you actually sell more. And it's that simple, but yet it's so difficult to put into action. And when we think about putting this into action, it reminds me, and one of my favorite quotes, and I was just sharing this with Sharon right before we started recording the podcast, was this: what's forever old is forever new. And these are just timeless principles that will never go away, especially around serving.
It's so true. I think when you think about the world that we live in, there's so much data, there's so much stuff, you can scroll through social media for hours and get lost in it. But when you have that heart-to-heart connection, you truly are relating with another human being. And in that you have the depth of emotion. So we talk about emotional selling. Well, heart-to-heart selling is adding value to someone's life. And when you look at the most successful businesses solve a problem or serve a need. And so when you're selling from the heart, when you're focusing on the pain points of that individual and how you can serve to help make those pain points go away, then you're really truly serving them, and you're establishing a connection that goes beyond email, beyond social media. It becomes person to person. And that's what we need to get back to.
I love it. And it reminds me of one of the most powerful things I took out of 3 Feet from Gold, which, by the way, if you do not have a copy of 3 Feet from Gold, you can pull over right now, hit pause, and go grab one immediately. Larry's got a great story about that. But seriously, buy this book. But in the back, you have the personal success equation. And the other P word that's the beginning of that personal success equation is passion. And we like to say here at Selling from the Heart, we're all about giving a rip, right? Caring and having a passion, a driving force. When you think about passion in terms of a sales professional and their success, what comes to mind from your perspective?
Well, when you think about the word passion, you think of the phrase, do what you love what you do. Well, my passion that is as strong today as it was back in the 90s is from anger. I'm mad that we're not teaching our kids about money in school. I'm mad that we don't have the tools and resources to teach people about the financial world they're going to face, and hence they get into trouble financially. And so your passion is your driving force. What is that definite purpose? If you can turn your passion into your purpose, that's what gets you out of the bed in the morning when you'd rather just roll over and pull the covers over your head. So it takes it outside of you, gives you a bigger mission. And that passion will get you through the downtimes. All right. So when you have a bad day, your passion keeps you moving because you know you're on a mission to accomplish something bigger than you. And that passion helps you get there.
I mean, this is what I love. I just love combining passion with purpose. And I like that you use, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but you'll probably correct me because I've only read it about 20,000 times, is definite purpose.
Yes, it actually is definiteness of purpose. And so it is a mouthful.
But that is so powerful to have a definiteness of purpose. And we've said this a lot at Selling from the Heart. This whole concept of your why, we just talked to Dr. Gary Sanchez of the Why Institute in the last episode, knowing your why, having a purpose, showing up every day, not just for the commission check. That's the scorecard. The real thing is, are you able to find purpose in what you're doing? And I think that's so incredibly powerful. And the other part of the success set, blah, blah, blah. There we go, Larry. Definiteness of purpose. The other part of the success equation is pronouncing words correctly. And that has to do with talent. And when you think about salespeople and talent, how coach us on the talent component of this equation when it comes to thinking about a sales professional and developing in that area?
Well, if I can take a step back to talk about the whole formula, because it really is in different parts. The first part of it is passion plus talent, which is what we're talking about. And that's all about the individual. That's about you. For instance, my passion came from anger that we weren't teaching kids and people about money. My talent was years as a CPA, years in publishing, and I combined those two. And I could have stopped there where most people do, because you think you have to do it by yourself. You think it's all up to you. But true success is found in the rest of that personal success equation. And I use this in every interview, every talk, every speech. Passion plus talent times power of association. So today we're establishing a new association with the three of us, and it's wonderful. I can't wait to see what comes from that. But that power of association is, who is your mentor? Who's opening doors for you? Who's on your team? Do you have people on your team who are strong where you are weak? People that can do the things that you should not be doing because you have to continue driving the forward motion of your business. So passion plus talent times association, really knowing that you have driving forces and you're doing it together. And then times taking action. How many times do we know what we're supposed to do? We just don't do it.
Yep.
Anybody busted? I think so. And then the last element is plus F, which is faith. Faith and confidence in yourself. Faith that what you're doing is needed and necessary. Faith that you will succeed. And when you combine that together, you'll find the element that might need a little work in your life. And when I'm starting with new mentoring clients, it's usually the power of association. They've stopped going out and expanding their network, or they need some introductions to get to the next level. And faith, that self-confidence that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And they kind of go hand in hand. When you have the right people around you and you have a bad day, they won't let you stay there. And so that personal success equation is the combination of passion and talent. And that passion and talent is all about you, what you're bringing to the table. But truly successful is when you actually make sure you've got the right associations, taking the right action, and have that self-confidence.
And I love this because I love the association part of this. And I just want to give a special shout out to Dave Sanderson, who's been our business coach for the last few years. And he really taught us the power of this because he would bring his mentors into our conversation. So he would bring us up close and personal with people who have influenced his life. Well, what happened next is we put those introductions and we took action. And when we took action, then now they've become our mentors. They become our friends. So just think about this, as a sales message to all the sales leaders and sales professionals that are out there, is you have the capability of doing this. It just requires you paying attention to who you bring into your circle, and then who you bring into your circle. Then you got to just act upon it. Because you're just 1 degree. You're just that 1 degree of somebody picking up the phone or that email that could change the course of your career. So powerful.
It's so true. And every element of my success during my entire life has been through understanding the power of association. When we started the Talking Children's book back in the 80s, we had this new technologies. Kids didn't have screens or technology back then. I know dinosaur days, but they didn't. And so we have this new technology. We go, how can we get parents to trust us? And so we aligned with little companies like Disney, Warner Brothers, Sesame Street, and that gave us instant validation in the eyes of parents. So that helped me early on understand the power of brand association, but also association of individuals, mentors, and people that can open doors for you, as well as think about the value of your knowledge and what you're trying to share with people. If you find someone who has an audience, you can impact many. So it's B2B. So you're literally sharing, we have that connection with them, but then they give you access and the opportunity to share your wisdom with them. So that gives you momentum. Life today is all about momentum. Your money always needs to be moving. Your business, you always need to be growing. And you do that by you can do it exponentially through the power of association.
I love it. I love it. This is just such a fun conversation. And I want to dive into Napoleon Hill and the work you've done with the foundation. We're going to take a pause here right now, though, and hear from one of the members of the Selling from the Heart community. As everyone knows, a new feature in the Selling from the Heart podcast is our members of our community are sharing videos about what it means to them to sell from the heart. And by the way, if you want to do that, just text the word video to 21,000. That's video to 21,000. We'd love to feature your video on an upcoming episode. Larry, we've got a fun video here from Brett Barry. This is going to be really, really cool.
It is. It sure is.
Well, without further ado, let's hear from Brett Barry after a word from our sponsors, and we'll rejoin this amazing conversation.
I'm thrilled to introduce to you a revolutionary tool that will change the way you understand yourself and others. Our partners at the Y Institute have created the Y.OS Discovery Platform, a powerful tool that in just 10 minutes can help you uncover your core motivations, how you bring them to life, and what others can expect from you. This is more than just a self-awareness tool. It's a game changer for coaches and those who want to help their clients reach their full potential. If you're a coach or a sales leader, go to yinstitute.com and look for the Y certification. We'll put the link in the show notes. When you reach out to the Y Institute, let them know you heard about it on Selling from the Heart, and you'll be on your way to helping your people discover what drives them. Don't just take our word for it. Go to yinstitute.com and see the powerful impact the Y.OS discovery can have on your life.
Hi, I'm Brett Barry, author of The Selling Edge, How to Reach the Top in Any Sales Industry, and my newest book, Promoted, The Proven Path to Career Advancement. When I think of selling from the heart, a couple things come to mind. First of all, the biggest thing is putting your own needs aside for the purpose of trying to help improve the life or the business of whoever you're trying to serve with your product or service. It means building a true human-to-human connection where you almost put that product or service aside, get to know the person, get to know what's important to them. What are their challenges? What are their struggles? What are they trying to accomplish in their business? And how is that important to them? And once you know these things and you've built a true connection and you've built a good level of trust, then I think at that point you've earned the right to introduce your product or service and propose ways that you think you can help them. And when you go about it that way, ultimately, not only are you more likely to close a sale, but you're also going to build relationships that are going to last up to a lifetime. And that, to me, at its core, is what it means to sell from the heart.
I love it. Fantastic.
I just have to give a shout out to Brett. He's a near and dear friend of mine. His second book is releasing in the middle of March, and I've had the honor of writing the forward to his book. So Brett, I love you.
Yeah, go grab a copy of that. Let's support our friend Brett. And Sharon, you got engaged with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. I got to say, just on behalf of me and Larry and the whole Selling from the Heart community, who is discovering, some of us discovering this for the first time. Just a huge thank you for bringing this stuff back to life and re-energizing it. Where did you first encounter Napoleon Hill's work, and how did it impact your life? I'm curious.
Well, I appreciate the question. I was 19 in college, and one of my professors recommended I read Think and Grow Rich. And I did. And I didn't realize the impact it had on my life until I was probably in my 30s. But it never left me. And it was always, kind of a foundational knowledge of really being in charge of your own destiny and taking control. And we're taught so many times to rely on other people, and this victim mentality that's gotten into our society is crippling. And we need to really get back to being our own victor and our own champion and standing in our own power. And that doesn't mean you can't help other people, but you are much more powerful in helping other people when you have the strength within you. Your strength attracts others to you. And I got to know the foundation people, Don Green, while we were both at book fairs, because I was running Rich Dad and he was there, and our booths would be down the hall from each other or even next door a couple of times. Yeah. And so we got to be really good friends. And when he found out that I made the decision to leave Rich Dad, he called me, and it was March 20th, 2008. I found the pink slip the other day when I got the message from him where he asked me to step in and help re-energize Napoleon Hill's work. And that first book was 3 Feet from Gold. And it was just an incredible opportunity. I mean, having built Rich Dad and then to be asked to step in the world's largest personal development brand was just incredible. And it's just been, I've had 4 books with them. 3 Feet from Gold was the first one, then Outwitting the Devil, Think and Grow Rich for Women, and then Success and Something Greater. So it's been a wonderful relationship, a great journey. And we really succeeded in what we wanted to do, because when he called me, he said, the world's economy is upside down, and most young people, and back, my definition of young keeps getting older and older. Most people under the age of 50 didn't even know who Napoleon Hill was or had not heard of Think and Grow Rich. And the message, the teachings of his books were so important at that time because of what was happening in the economy. And so we really have been blessed with really re-energizing Napoleon Hill's teachings and bringing him back to the forefront of people starting businesses, running businesses, or just trying to find their own destiny. And Think and Grow Rich, is a little daunting at first when you start reading it. And so Outwitting the Devil, which was written by Napoleon Hill as supposed to be the sequel to Think and Grow Rich, was hidden away for 73 years. And I had the incredible honor of bringing it out. And it truly has inspired younger generations. A little in your face, but now I recommend people read Outwitting the Devil and then read Think and Grow Rich. So interesting.
Wow.
Sharon, I wore a highlighter out on Outwitting the Devil. I mean, it's an in-your-face book, but here's, I was just thinking about Think and Grow Rich, and I happen to look over, and I have a stack of all my Napoleon Hill books and everything just sitting to the left of me. Though it's not a Napoleon Hill book, I know you're going to be familiar with it, but I just read, this was going back a few months ago, Can You Really Think and Grow Rich? And it's by Rami El Batrari. And it was interesting. And Sharon, you're probably familiar with the book, but he actually took the principles behind Think and Grow Rich and he applied each and every one of them. And then he wrote a book. It's an easy read, but it's a great book. Just parallels Think and Grow Rich, but he actually took it and applied it. And then he shares his successes. There's some losses and there's some successes even more, but he took the whole core of Think and Grow Rich.
Well, even Napoleon Hill, when he released Think and Grow Rich, it had been a 25-year endeavor. And when he released it, he was frustrated because he says, I'm providing you the doctoral thesis to success, right? This is tried and proven from talking to the richest people in the world. And even though you read it, you're not going to follow it. You're not going to do it. You're not going to take action. And he knew that happened because of fear. So he added that last chapter, the 6 Ghosts of Fear, to try and address that situation. But that's what really spurred him on the next year in 1938 to sit down and write Outwitting the Devil, because he understood that fear is paralyzing. And so many people can read it, but not do anything. And
wow.
read it and actually apply it and take action have the opportunity to create their own future.
Love it. Wow. So powerful. As we're wrapping this up, I'm thinking about some of the parallels from 2008 when you put 3 Feet from Gold together and the uncertainty that was being injected into the economy. Obviously, we're in a very dynamic time. Uncertainty would be one of the words that could be used. It's a hard time to be a sales professional, especially when uncertainty gets put in the mix. People start delaying decisions, putting things off, maybe trimming budget, depending on that. From the perspective of 3 Feet from Gold, how would you encourage sales professionals right now that feel a little off kilter because of the current environment?
Well, maintain your focus on the problem you're solving and the need you're serving. And that's where you know that you're actually fulfilling a purpose. But my personal message to all of you is, you're in a profession where you have big checks and little checks. And there's a phrase that's coined called Henry, high earner, not rich yet. So many people, whether you're in real estate or in car sales, whatever sales profession you're in, pay attention to the money when it comes in and how are you letting it go away, or are you reinvesting it in yourself and in your future? Because the more you reinvest in yourself, the more comfortable and consistent you are in your own personal financial health, the less stress you're going to have about the next sale. So make sure that you're paying attention to the most important sale there is, to yourself, to convince yourself to create a financial foundation. Don't spend it, invest it. And that will help you build that financial foundation that will help you not just survive, but thrive through a downturn economy.
Wow. Solid wisdom.
No, it is. And what I love about what you just said, Sharon, is this is mindset related. And this is the best time to reinvest in yourself, but go back in time. Just go back in time to some of the greats that have written some of these books that are just, I think will forever stand the test of time. Just pick it up, read it, and start applying just one little thing out of each chapter. Watch what starts to happen, not only to your mindset, but watch what starts happening to your skill set. Watch what starts happening to your heart set. These books me personally, I've been on this journey ever since I was challenged to read 3 Feet from Gold. And this stuff does work, but you just have to take action and apply it.
Well, you've heard the phrase, I think what you focus on, becomes reality. And so if you're focusing on just coasting and living a life by circumstance, you're never going to achieve the success that you deserve. When you focus on what you want out of life, and when you focus it from a position of your heart, selling from the heart, let's bring that back in, and you're really on purpose, you create results because you're attracting the energy and you're attracting people who believe in your cause, believe in your purpose. So that power of association shows up when you need it, when you are true to your heart, to your purpose, and focusing on that, reading the materials, because your subconscious is a very powerful tool. And if your subconscious is listening to the negative news, it's listening, you're watching, violent stuff on TV, that's what is being implanted in your subconscious. So you have to move it out and put in positive thoughts, positive motivation, inspiration that help you focus on a positive outcome. And that provides the energy and necessary drive to achieve your purpose.
Just amazing. Amazing. Sharon, before we wrap up, I know you're working on a brand new project you're excited about. Tell us about this new book.
Oh, absolutely. It's my 28th book, and it's going to be coming out this year in cooperation with WealthWave and Transamerica. And it is How Money Works for Women. All right. So you either control it or lose it. That's the subtitle. And so it's important. When it comes to money, you're either in control of your money or money's in control of you. And so I was honored that they asked me, they wanted to have my wisdom in writing the book. And so it's going to be a little fun book. We talk about various different women in the book, different characters in different positions of life, age, retirement, young, who was just going to college. So lots of different situational elements about financial challenges that women face.
Powerful.
So good.
Such a great, what a gift. What an amazing gift you are. Thank you so much for all you've done. Rich Dad, Poor Dad changed my life. I told Larry we wouldn't be here if I hadn't read that book and started.
Remember what I said to you before we started the interview. The book didn't change your life. It inspired you to change your life.
Yes,
so there's a lot of people, 32 million people have read the book. So not all of them have taken action. So I'm absolutely honored that something that I wrote inspired you to take action to change your life.
Daryl, you got to own it, because I will tell you this: if you didn't take action, I don't meet you. So that's right. I'm so glad you took action. I wouldn't be here.
Well, thank you for being a catalyst. Thank you for reigniting Napoleon Hill and expanding. This is amazing. I know you've just been such an incredible gift to me and Larry and to our entire Selling from the Heart community. So how can folks get more Sharon Lechter in their life?
Well, I would welcome everybody to reach out to me. SharonLechter.com is my website. I'm Sharon Lechter on all the social media accounts. But reach out to me, info@Sharon Lechter. Be happy to do that. And if you want an ebook that I wrote, a guide for you to assess your own personal success equation, go to personalsuccessequation.com and download it there. It's free. But it walks you through that personal success equation and asks you questions on how you can assess where you are and what you need to do to get to the next level.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. We'll put that in the show notes. And I know what I'm doing as soon as we wrap up this recording session. Sharon, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You are a true Selling from the Heart champion. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity, and congratulations to the two of you. This is such an important thing. And for everybody watching, thank you for being committed to selling from the heart.
Oh, so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Sharon. And thank you to everybody in the Selling from the Heart community. Larry, I knew this was going to be an amazing conversation, but I've got so many things now that I need to take action on. And I'm so grateful for Sharon.
No, there's so much to take away, but I think our conversation just reinforced a couple things, at least for me, and it really just gave me a jolt of even more energy, was the association and action. Because over the last couple of years, I've seen the right associations here at Selling from the Heart that have just fueled the growth that we're having, but it's because we've taken action upon it. And without action, we know nothing happens. So, I mean, those were a couple. That was just that was just great reinforcement.
Incredibly powerful, so much wisdom. And I'm so grateful for everybody in the Selling from the Heart community. Thanks again to all of you who are leaving reviews, who are sharing the podcast with your peers and even your clients inside that. And Larry, as we said at the beginning of this show, I'm so looking forward to hanging out with everybody. Come hang out with us on April 20th. We're going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina at the inaugural Selling from the Heart experience. It is going to be a powerful day that is going to transform your heart. It's going to propel you forward to new levels of success and fulfillment. And I'm very, very excited about all that's going to happen that day. And we're going to have so much fun. sellingfromtheheartexperience.com.
Yeah. And who would have thought, Daryl, 6 years ago, we're almost coming on our 6-year anniversary of the podcast. Who would have thought that from the podcast, I decided then to write the book. The book's turned into a movement. We appreciate you. Just a simple ask. Will you just help us build upon this movement of authenticity, integrity, and trust in the sales profession? It's sorely needed. Just stand up with us, rise up, and just say yes.
Absolutely. I say yes, Larry. So
I knew you would.
We got a great roster of guests coming up. So make sure to like, subscribe, highlight, sticky note, whatever you need to do. You don't want to miss Selling from the Heart. And until next time, keep being genuine, keep being authentic, keep building trust, make the right associations and take action. And most of all, sell from the heart.